You know, the entirety of the Bible. I've said something similar to this, but I'm going to make it a little different. The entirety of the Bible is a pronouncement. Wait a second. The entirety of the Bible as it relates to man is a pronouncement, a screaming pronouncement that man is unable to do anything. The entire Bible shows man's inability, as I've said many times before. So isn't it interesting that Christians read this book and the questions they ask are, what do I need to do? There's something off about that. I'm going to make a very bold statement. But it's a true statement. If you read this book and you think that there's something for you to do in it, it will be a useless book for you. Completely useless. Oh, it may make you more moral, or it may make you toe the line a little better or something, kind of like listening to Buddha or any of those things. There's only one being, one man who ever lived that could read this book and ask the question, what do I need to do? And that's why Jesus Christ, he was in the temple and he took up the scroll and he said, in the book of the scroll, it is written of me. Yes. Because Jesus Christ was the Lamb. He is the tithe. He is the offering. He is the King. He is given the place of preeminence. He is. You're not. I'm not. This book, if you could just read it and read it from the perspective of God is able. God is God. What did God do? And from the perspective of actually elevating God, no, not elevating God, because that's not the right phrase, but at least acknowledging that God is God, with all that means. See, sometimes you act like God is God and you say God is God, but then you give him all these characteristics that would clearly show he's not God. Well, he doesn't know everything. He didn't have a plan that could accomplish everything. He's forced to clean up this mess that he obviously did not anticipate was going to happen, blah, 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 etc. Give God the characteristics like he is God. When you read it from that perspective, and not the perspective of what do you need to do, the book will be a different book. It will be different completely. But again, as I've said, there's something in us that just wants to do something. And I guess it's a pride thing. I don't really know how to define it, but people want to be able to do something. And if you tell them that they can't, that God did it all, it frustrates them and they can't believe it. You know, as I said in one of the last videos, you know, if I don't get to make that quality choice, that right decision, so that I can look at you and realize you didn't make that right decision. Okay, I'm going to touch on something, and I'll probably touch on this in another video, but I'll just start it here. The idea that you have free will, that God gave 7 billion people free will. And we need to define terms here. Okay? The key word there is free. Free means uninfluenced. That you can sit here and do things of your own free will, where you're uninfluenced in what you do. No doubt you have a will. I have a will. The question is it free? As I've already shown you in certain instances with Pharaoh, that, yeah, he thought he had a free will. He thought he was exercising his free will, but he was being manipulated. He was being influenced. And you think your will is, I guess you think your will is uninfluenced. How silly is that? The proof of that, why do they spend millions and millions of dollars on commercials? If they can't influence you, you're influenced in all manner of ways. And one of the reasons that I'm adamantly and persistently teaching you is because you're influenced by things that you don't even realize are influencing you. And this is not to, I don't mean to, this is not making fun of or anything like that, because this could be said of any number of people. But I said to Diana once, I said, Diana, you couldn't tell me where a verse on hell is in the Bible to save your life. And yet you think you know what it is. And why? Because there are people out there teaching you things about it. You're being influenced about it. We all have that. I mean, I told you the other day, the number of people who will be snatched away, or what Christians normally call the rapture, will be so small that it will be indistinguishable. No one will even know it happened. And yet there are people out there who don't know anything about God or anything about anything, and they think they know something about the rapture. You're being influenced. And I've said this before, but Paul actually says it in Scripture, and at some point in time I'll find that Scripture for you. But the deception is systematized. The deception is a system, and it's part of the system. And you're in a system, and it influences you. Whether you believe that or not, or like it or not, it does. But Christians and their free will. Free will. Because that's how they put as to what has to happen for you to be saved. You have to accept Jesus. Let me do it. Accept Jesus of your own free will. That's how you can claim that you made the right choice. You don't have a free will. You're always being influenced. That should be, again, is everything that I say. There's not anything that I'm telling you that should not be obvious. Once you get out of seeing things through the deception. It's not difficult to see. You clearly don't have a free will. Starbucks would not be putting out their poison to the billions if people had a free will. No, your will is influenced. And it's influenced by a billion things you don't even know. And your understanding of God is being influenced by the system of deception. And the church you go to on Sunday morning and the Christianity as a whole of a religion is part of that deception, part of that systemized deception. I love you all.